Hello, good morning. You're watching BNSN now on ET Now with me, Vinny Motiwala, along with me, Cheryl D'Souza as well. A very good morning to you, Cheryl, as well. And how are the markets looking like? Anything exciting for us today, or still another day of a dull on the markets?
You are wearing green, Vinny, so it looks like the markets are supporting you today, and a very good morning to you. So the markets are in green, but yes, they are not doing anything exciting. They are dull as dull can be. If you look at the markets, 0.3% uptick coming in for Nifty. We have been seeing the Nifty is being trading in a range, so there is not such excitement seen, at least on the benchmark indices front. Let's take a look at what the Nifty Bank is doing at this point in time. 0.4% uptick coming in for the Nifty Bank. Let's talk about the list of losers first, because if you look at this, you have handful of losers in trade today, but none of them are losing excess of 1%. So you have Apollo Hospitals, that's the top loser on the Nifty as we speak, and that one is seeing declines of about 0.8%, followed by Bajaj Auto, SBI Life, as well as Wipro. So marginal losses coming in on all of these counters. List of gainers, you have NTPC, that's the top gainer on the Nifty, 2.3% uptick coming in for NTPC, followed by Adani Ports, Tata Steel, Cipla, as well as L&T, all of them seeing good gains in today's trading session. So let me take you through the sectoral indices then, and the top sectoral loser today is the PSU Bank Index, losing about 0.5%. If you look at Realty Index, also seeing similar sort of declines. IT Index also under mild bit of pressure, but on the flip side, you have the Power Index, that is the top sectoral gainer, along with metals, as well as FMCG holding on to some sort of gains in today's trading session. Talking about the broader markets, they are actually moving in tandem with the benchmark indices as we speak. So you have the small cap index seeing muted gains, and you have mid cap index that's seeing 0.3% uptick. So yes, not an exciting day, no doubt. Vinny, the markets are on your side today. They are actually seeing a shade of green, but not that much to be excited about.
Okay, but let's just that's not something exciting, but UPI of India and PayNow of Singapore will be linked to enable faster and cost-efficient transfers of cross-border remittances. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Singapore Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong will virtually witness the launch of the cross-border connectivity. Let's go across to Sharad, who's here to give us an understanding on what will actually be happening here as well. Sharad?
Well, yes, it's a matter of pride for the UPI ecosystem of India going global, and an important meet coming today at 11 a.m. where Prime Minister Modi as well as RBI Governor Shaktikanta Das would be present. Now, the important thing is this launch would be there between the two digital eco-payment systems between India and Singapore. This includes UPI from India and PayNow from Singapore. Apart from this, a lot of important news flow is coming in the UPI ecosystem, especially on the global front. And let me just point out the first one being RuPay has actually launched a first credit card on the UPI ecosystem. Apart from this, PhonePe has also become the first fintech to actually allow UPI payments by Indians abroad. And do remember, Paytm Payments Banks also has a license for it. Now, as per NCPI, almost NRIs from 10 countries can do their UPI payments without having Indian numbers. And also Ebix, which is a listed company, their arm Ebix Cash becomes the first company to launch UPI for foreign travelers coming to India. And lastly, the main company Paytm in the third quarter results as well, the payments revenue went up almost 34% on a year-on-year basis, and this also includes the UPI incentive. So a lot of important news flow coming in over the recent weeks on the UPI ecosystem as well. But now let's look at the total values which have been transacted and see the numbers going up. The numbers have been increasing steadily and almost hit 13 lakh crore mark in the month of January itself. But the question is, how much does UPI contribute to the total digital transactions in India? And that number is on the positive side of 52%. Now, there are some important triggers going ahead for UPI, and the first one, of course, being is India is pitching for a stronger framework amongst the G20 nations. Apart from this, the regulatory challenges are also there, which will be discussed with the fintechs going ahead.
Thank you so much for that, Sharad, for giving us a precursor or letting us know what exactly we should be expecting anytime, any minute now. You will have the RBI governor as well as the Prime Minister who will be gracing the occasion of the UPI Pay Now actually connectivity. So on back of that, we will be on a standby mode for that. But for now, let me bring on board our guests for today. We have Kunal Bothra as well as Rajesh Agarwal joining us on the show. Very good morning to you, Kunal, as well as Rajesh. Thank you so much for joining us on BNSN now. And Rajesh, let me actually come first to you and let's ask about the key question that I ask you all the time when you're here, is the fact that what should investors do given the fact the way how the markets are behaving. Like when he said, markets are not doing anything exciting. It's been range bound of late. This after it saw a sharp correction. So, what should retail investors do? How should they manage their money in such a market scenario where there is volatility? Then there comes a consolidatory phase. So they are all waiting for that uptick to come in the markets, right? So in such a scenario, what should they do to keep their wealth protected and stay calm?
Good morning, Shail. Good morning, Vinny. Good morning, Kunal. As Vinny was pointing out sometimes back that the market was not exciting today, I would like to add that it's not exciting from the last so many days, maybe more than a month or so. It's not been exciting. It's so dull that there is not even a change of 10 paisa or 20 paisa in a stock price in the entire day. And that's so depressing, I would say. Yes, in this kind of scenario, most of the retail investors, especially, are in dilemma for what to do. They tend to do. They tend to believe that in doing every day something. That's not to be done. Sometimes you have to sit quiet and enjoy the flow. And what I have come across many investors, pertinent question is they buy junk stocks and they lose money, and they try to buy another junk stocks to recover that money, or adding to the existing junk stock in saying that they are going to average. But that's not the right thing to do. You are compounding the problem, I would say. Take a step back. Whatever capital you are left with, start investing in quality companies. Always remember, stock market is a double-edged sword. Good decisions can create wealth, but mistakes can destroy it too. It takes ample amount of discipline to be a successful investor, I would say. The desire to make overnight money is the reason why many investors lose money. So there are times when you need not do anything. You just have to sit back and think about your portfolio and get rid of all your junk stocks. That's what can be done at the current market scenario.
On that note, we're going to slip into a very short break. Viewers, don't go anywhere, because after this break, we will be taking all your stock-related queries.
Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now, and let's cut across to Prime Minister, who's speaking at the launch of the linkage of between UPI and Singapore's Pay Now.
भारत के हजारों स्टार्टअप्स अपना लोहा मनवा रहे हैं। इसी ऊर्जा की वजह से आज रियल टाइम डिजिटल ट्रांजैक्शन के मामले में भारत विश्व के अग्रणी देशों में है। आज यूपीआई भारत में सबसे पसंदीदा पेमेंट मैकेनिज्म बन गया है। मर्चेंट्स और कंज्यूमर्स दोनों ने ही इसे ज्यादा से ज्यादा वे अपना रहे हैं। इसलिए आज बहुत से एक्सपर्ट्स ये अनुमान लगा रहे हैं कि जल्द ही भारत में डिजिटल वॉलेट ट्रांजैक्शन नकद लेन-देन से अधिक हो जाएंगे। पिछले वर्ष यानी 2022 में यूपीआई के माध्यम से करीब 126 लाख करोड़ रुपए यानी लगभग 2 ट्रिलियन सिंगापुर डॉलर से अधिक मूल्य के ट्रांजैक्शंस हुए हैं। अगर मैं नंबर ऑफ ट्रांजैक्शंस की बात करूं तो ये भी 7,400 करोड़ से अधिक होता है। ये दिखाता है कि भारत का यूपीआई सिस्टम कितनी बड़ी संख्या को आसानी से और सुरक्षित तरीके से हैंडल कर रहा है। अच्छा ये भी कि विभिन्न देशों के साथ यूपीआई की पार्टनरशिप भी बढ़ रही है। सिंगापुर पहला देश है जिसके साथ आज पर्सन टू पर्सन पेमेंट फैसिलिटी लॉन्च हुई है। मैं सिंगापुर की मॉनेटरी अथॉरिटी, भारत के रिजर्व बैंक और इस प्रयास को सफल बनाने में जुड़े सभी लोगों का हार्दिक अभिनंदन करता हूं। मैं दोनों देशों की जनता को फिर से बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं और मैं प्रधानमंत्री जी का भी हृदय से बहुत बहुत आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। धन्यवाद।
And on that note, let's get started with all your stock related queries. You can send us your queries either on YouTube. Our WhatsApp number will be flashing on the screens as well, or even on our Twitter page. Let's get started then. And good morning to both Kunal as well as Rajesh. And Rajesh, I'm going to start with you. We have the first query which is coming in from Manthan and I beg your pardon, from Bala, and this one is on Manthan Alloys. Is it a good buy at current levels? How are the valuations looking like? Fundamentally, do you think it's a good stock? Rajesh? Okay. Kunal, then I'm going to come to you then for the first query. Then, okay, we have this next query. Kunal, this one is on IndusInd Bank. K. Venugopal Reddy wants to know they bought 50 shares at 1,185. Is it the right time to start averaging this one?
Well, a better time to average IndusInd Bank would be assuming if the stock comes closer to the previous swing low, which is around the 1,050 mark for IndusInd Bank. But I think it's a stock which you should ideally hold on to. So I understand that the last 1 month has been a lot more difficult for the private sector banking names, but I think IndusInd Bank has confirmed a big breakout from the 2022 lows when the stock was almost at 750 or 800 plus mark for itself. So that kind of an up move and the recent retracement probably brings in a case that the stock is nearing a major bottom. But I think a better level, if you ask me, would be closer to 1,050, 1,055 mark for IndusInd Bank if you're looking to average.
Kunal, we're going to stay with you till Rajesh connects back with us. And, the next query is from Chitra from Bangalore. They want to know on GNFC. Now, this one is, they're saying it's nearly at the month's low. They bought 100 shares at 521 rupees. What do you see in terms of the charts? How do you see this shaping up going forward?
See, yesterday's price action was very attractive. It was a minor kind of a price volume breakout, not a major time scale. But then even if it's a minor breakout, the probability of the stock coming towards a 40-point uptick from yesterday's closing, say for example 550 was the closing. So I think that 580 to 590 mark could be a target range for GNFC. So I think if you bought at 520 odd levels, you're already sitting on good buffer. After yesterday's price action as well as volume action, there is a higher probability that the stock may come towards 580 to 590 zone. That could be a point where you may look to book partial profits or full profits depending on the kind of market scenario we are into. But I would suggest to hold as of now.
All right. This one is coming in from Dhananjay, and he wants a technical as well as a fundamental view on Bank of Baroda and Polyplex. He's holding both of these counters and he's suffering loss of about 5 to 10%. But I will take only a fundamental view on both of these counters. And Rajesh, coming to you, Bank of Baroda and Polyplex, either one of them, which one do you want to comment on?
I can comment on both, and both are a buy from our side from a very long period of time. Yes, Polyplex has corrected quite a lot from their highs, and that's because almost all the polyfilms companies have seen a sharp correction, but the fundamentals are still intact. The company doles out dividend almost every quarter. The Indonesian ventures is doing well, and there were media reports that the promoters are seeking to get out of their stake, sell their stake. So if that materializes, that can be a added trigger. At the current market price of 1,500 odd rupees, I think it's a very good buy for a time horizon of maybe 12 months. As far as Bank of Baroda is concerned, the numbers have been very good. It has run quite a lot, no doubt, in the last 1 year or so, almost double. But still, there are room left, seeing the kind of numbers it has reported. And IMs have been good, asset quality has been good. For a target of 180, one can accumulate this stock.
Kunal, this next query is on Tata Consumers. This one is coming in from Anish from Kerala, and they want to know what's happening in the space because the stock has remained quite in a consolidation or a range-bound state as of now and even after a decent Q3 numbers, they've still been in that phase. So they have a long position on this one. Should they hold or exit?
Well, I think you should hold on. In fact, the stock on 31st of Jan when it fell below that 730 mark, 729 to precise, had hit back into a deep oversold territory. The stock made another low, which was around the 715 mark, just I think a week back. But the indicators in that retest of the previous low as well as the making of a previous lows or a lower low, the indicator was on the much higher side. This in classical terms we call it as an RSI divergence, where the prices make new low for themselves, but the RSI actually makes a higher low. These are points where the stock gradually forms a major bottom, for itself. And I think Tata Consumers, as well as most of the FMCG names, are showing some good recovery for themselves. So purely as price point and purely as the oversold nature of indicators as well as the RSI divergence shows, I would suggest that you should look to add or average at current levels.
All right, this one is coming in from, okay, he's not mentioned his name, though his YouTube handle is Interval Entertainment. Looks like he's inspired by you, Rajesh, but he's saying that he's bought Indigo at a price of around 1900 rupees per share, 500 shares, it seems, Kunal, and he is actually in loss on this particular holding. So, Kunal, he wants to know on the charts, how is Indigo looking, what is the stop loss and the targets for the short term?
See, the only concern with stock like Indigo is over the last 2 years, you've seen multiple times there has been dilution of stake which has happened for the stock, promoters selling, and I think that's added towards the pressure for the stock in the near to medium term. Even I think few days back there was similar kind of a news flow for the stock price, and it fell from I think 2000 to now almost 1850, 1870 plus level. So that's the bigger concern. Purely as a chart, I would sense that the stock is now I would say maybe 5% to 6% away from a near-term bottom in place. So I think 1800 or 1780 to be precise is a good support zone for Interglobe Aviation. If you're looking to add or average, then I think that could be a zone where you can look to buy. But I think at a broader level, I would believe that it's a stock which you should look to hold on.
Rajesh, I'm going to take the query which we had first with you, and that one is on Mithun Alloys, and this one is from Bala. Is it a good buy at the current levels in terms of fundamentals and valuations? How are you looking at that?
Of course, it's a good buy. It's one of the leading companies in ferrochrome. They have plants in Northeast, and the numbers have been quite good, even on valuation terms. If you look at valuations trading less than 5 times price to earnings, balance sheet is very strong. I think one should buy with a target of 1200 odd rupees the next 1 quarter.
All right, then on that note, we'll slip into a break on this edition of Buy Now, Sell Now. When we come back, we will continue taking all of your stock-related queries. So viewers, stay tuned and don't go anywhere. Welcome back. We are watching Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now, and let me continue with the queries. And this one is coming from Swayam Kunal. He wants to know whether fresh shots should be actually allocated on Divi's Laboratories or IEX for March.
Not really. I think both these stocks have now started to show signs of turnaround. Divi's Lab, in fact, almost a week, 10 days back, I had given a buy call expecting the stock would bottom out, and it has closed a major gap on the long-term charts. So when such kind of gaps they get closed or partially filled, a major reversal gets completed. I think the stock has done reasonably well from those sub 2,800 levels. IEX also, I think today in the morning I'd given a buy call expecting the stock to get into momentum breakout. And I think over the last many months I have flagged off that 125 to 130 range is a huge support range for IEX, and closer to that range is a good zone to average. So both these stocks look attractive. I would suggest to buy.
Rajesh, the next query is from Hemant, and this one they want a fundamental view on Sonata Software or Zensar Tech. Which one is looking better in terms of buying for a long-term period of 5 to 7 years?
See, first thing, both are good in a mid-cap space. The numbers have been good. The order book has been good. The management commentary of almost both the stocks were very exciting. But for a 5 to 7 year space, I would suggest to go for a large cap names like a TCS or a Infosys, Tech Mahindra. Tech Mahindra seems to be on a better valuation front when compared to others, or a Infosys which is stronger on every parameter. The numbers have been good, better than almost the other peer group set. So for 5 to 7 years horizon, I would say go for large cap names, but for short term trading or a medium term investment, Zensar can be a better bet.
Okay, fine. The next one is coming in from Shrikutan, and he's holding Blue Star at the levels of 1,240 rupees per share. His view is for the short to medium term. Should he exit or hold the counter? And is it a good strategy, Kunal, to exit and buy back at a lower level? This is for Blue Star. 1240 is the buy price.
Well, I would suggest to hold on to the stock because I think the stock is just getting into some kind of a breakout as well as a momentum zone. So last 2 months, I think from or last 1.5 odd months from the Jan lows, the stock has recovered from 1200 to now 1400 plus levels, and it's done into a very staggered or a stepwise kind of a manner, going up higher, consolidating for a few days, and then moving up higher. So the odd phases of consolidation are actually have turned out to be good phases of mean reversion for the stock price. So I would suggest to hold on to Blue Star as of now.
Rajesh, the next query is from Vimal Parekh from New Delhi, and this one is on RCF. How are the fundamentals looking like for this one? Should they be entering the stock now?
See, numbers have been good. The burden of subsidy has been reducing. And going forward with the kind of focus of the government on the rural theme and all, I think fertilizer companies are going to do well, out of which RCF is one such stock. One can buy with a target of 125, 130 rupees in the next 2 quarters or so.
Okay, the next one is coming in from Joy Sheila Prema, and Joy Sheila has Madras Fertilizers, about 300 shares, Kunal, at a price of around 76 rupees per share. He wants to know whether he should average or hold.
I think you should just hold on to the stock. Possibly if the stock breaks below the 54 mark, that could be a stop loss for the trade on Madras Fertilizer. And the other name which you can look out for in terms of the fertilizer pack would be RCF. I think over the last many months I flagged off that 100 to 105 has been a good support range, and the closer it is towards that 100 to 105 mark, the better it is in terms of trying to buy the stock on dips. So you can probably shift from Madras Fertilizer to RCF if RCF comes back into that zone of 100 to 105.
The next query we have is from Razdan from Australia, and Rajesh, they're holding 400 shares of Ambuja Cement. What is your view on this one? Currently, obviously it's at a lower price, but they got this stock during the IPO, so they're holding it for a very long time. What is your view on this one? What should they be doing?
See, first coming to the company is very good. Combined capacity of both is 60 million tons, and that's a huge capacity, I would say. The valuation have become attractive after the current fall, which we have seen in the counter. And with the kind of infrastructure spends, $10 trillion has been allocated in budget for capex. Out of a big huge chunk goes to infrastructure. So all cement companies are going to be benefited. Now the group is in a problem, and we don't know how things will pan out for a longer term horizon. But yes, the company is very good. If somebody is ready to take some M2M cuts, one can go long in this stock with a target of maybe 400 plus in the very medium term, I would say. But for a longer term horizon, I think one can buy.
Right. This one is coming in from, one second, I missed the name actually. This one is coming from Akshay, and he wants to increase his holding in KPIT from 180 shares, which he had purchased at 620 rupees, to about 300 shares in KPIT Tech. He wants to know what is the best level that he can go ahead and add on to KPIT Tech, Kunal.
So 2025 odd could be a zone where you can look to average or add KPIT Tech. Yes, the stock is almost 10%, 15% higher than those levels, but then the stock seems to have come back towards multiple times towards a major support. Now, every time when the stock goes into an upward trend, after a majority of a price upswing, the stock has this tendency of going into sudden phase of correction. So possibly if you're patient enough, you may wait by for another maybe couple of weeks or maybe few months. I would probably sense that the stock should come back towards 700, 725 mark. That could be a classical point where we look to buy or add.
Rajesh Sujata from Bangalore is holding 300 shares of Bata at 1,760 rupees per share. What should they do? Should they average, look to sell?
See, this quarter numbers for almost all the footwear companies has been pretty bad. There were drop in volumes, market share losses, margins has been dropped, and I think this is going to continue for one more quarter. So no point averaging at this point of time. One can continue to hold. Once the number starts improving, one can think of adding. But at this point of time, it's a hold with a target of maybe 1550, 1580.
All right, this next query that I have is coming in from Manish Raju. He has about 100 shares of Macrotech Developers at a price of 1,060 rupees per share, 350 shares of Anant Raj at a price of 123.5 rupees per share. Kunal, what's the view on these realty counters, and should he average at current market price or exit? And if exit, at what price?
So Macrotech Developers, you can look to hold on. Yes, the stock has corrected, but I think it's nearing towards the zone where the indicators are closer to being oversold. So maybe another week, maybe another 10 days, and if the stock happens to get into a recovery phase, that could probably confirm a major bottom in place. Anantraj Industries, it is also one of the Diwali picks, closer to that 100 odd mark, slightly below that, where I've recommended. I would still be very bullish on the stock. My sense is that the stock has confirmed a huge breakout on the long-term timescale charts, and I believe that any dips closer to that 100 mark, and the stock has this odd tendency of coming closer to that 100 odd levels in times the market gets into a sharp correction. That's a zone where you should look to buy or add. But I think you should be. I would be bullish on the stock, and you should look to hold on to Anantraj Industries as of now.
Rajesh, the next query is from Arvind Reddy, and this one is on SPIC. They're holding 200 shares at 78 rupees. Should they continue to hold this or book losses?
SBI.
SPI, SPIC.
Okay, speak. Sorry. I think one should get out of this stock. We talked about fertilizer and all, but there are better picks in that space. RCF would be a better pick, or for longer termism, one can look at Coromandel International. Even GNFC can be a better pick rather than SPIC. So I think one can switch from this to those kind of stocks.
All right, this one is coming to you, Rajesh, and a bit of a longish query. This one is from Sagar, and he's written this query on behalf of his father. He's saying that his dad had purchased a nice chunk of Ultratech, Shree Cement and JK Cement, and he's been holding on to these counters from 2008. He had picked these counters when there was a huge correction in the markets. His logic was the fact that infra growth is low in India, and the cement will play a pivotal role as it is cartel based than competitive based, and infra boost will be needed in the future. So what now he's asking is, he wants to know if the valuations are expensive or are the valuations justified by earnings. Also, if you have any idea about the green cement market, because a few players have already started in it. So he wants to know whether do you see growth in the green cement market or no. So one, he wants to know about the valuations of the cement counters. Are they expensive or are they justified?
See, some of them are justified, some of them are on the higher side. You cannot take the entire pack as such. But as far as the gentleman's question, Ultratech, JK is concerned, I think even Shree Cement, I think it can be bought at this level. They are trading at a comfortable valuation, I would say, especially Ultratech after the kind of capacity enhancement they have announced. The numbers have been pretty good. And going forward, as I said, that when 10 lakh crores has been announced in budget for CAPEX, it's obvious that these cement companies are going to be benefited. I think one can accumulate these stocks. And green cement, yes, of course, there was a question on green cement also. So I think that's a very long story to go. It's a very nascent stage to get some kind of numbers from that area. Well, let's wait and watch how things pan out on that.
Okay. Kunal, this next query we have is from Siva from Chennai. Now, this is on Hindustan Copper. They're holding 8,000 shares of Hindustan Copper at 114 levels. They bought it actually when they sent somewhere around, they were seeing a double bottom pattern shaping up, and that's when they bought it for reversal. And now since that, we've seen that the stock has come down from there, 132 and near somewhere around the support at 103. What can they be expecting in terms of short term from this stock? In the short term, they mean a month's period time, while the longest they can hold is 3 months. So what should they be doing with this?
So I would suggest to hold on to the stock as of now. Yes, it's a weak chart. Even after breaking out of that 120 mark, going towards 130, the stock has succumbed towards selling and come back towards 104 levels. Possibly this move, the stock may retest the previous lows of 97.5. But I believe that most of the metal commodity stocks are getting into a breakout mode. So as of now, I would suggest a hold on Hindustan Copper.
All right. This next query that I have is coming in from Satya, and he wants to know about Granules India. He has some shares at 310 rupees per share. He wants a 1-year view, but he wants the fundamental view on Granules India. So your way, Rajesh.
I think one should try to exit this counter on every rise because the numbers have been not that good. It's and the commentary also which came after the con call which came after the numbers was not that exciting. I think 300 around 300 one should try to exit and switch to some other names.
Okay, on that note, let's just slip into a very short break, viewers. Don't go anywhere because we will be continuing with your stock-related queries even after this break. Welcome back, and you're watching Buy Now Sell Now on ET Now. Kunal, this next query is on BL. Lakshmi from Hyderabad is holding BL Feb FNOs. They purchased at 50 rupees, 95 of them. So what should they be doing currently now with this?
Well, you can hold on. Maybe the last 2 days of low can be a stop loss for this trade. It will be a very minor stop loss, but 94.2 or 94 as a round figure could be a stop loss, and you can look to hold on to the trade as of now.
Okay, this one is coming in from Harsh Ranjan, and he wants to know if it's good time to average NAM India since it's on multi-week support. He wants a view for 1 to 2 year horizon. He's currently holding this at the levels of 275 rupees per share. I'll take this one to you, Kunal, given the fact that over the past few days we've asked a lot of fundamental analysts on all of these AMC companies. What's your view on this one?
I would suggest to exit the stock. The trends are extremely weak for NAM India. The stock has made multi-month, quarter low for itself. So looks very weak on charts. I would suggest to exit.
Okay. Rajesh, the next query is from Anjali from Chandigarh, and this one is on CSB Bank. They're holding 250 shares at 230 rupees. What should they be doing with this now?
Hold on to the stock. The numbers have been good. The gold loan portfolio is doing well. The bank asset quality is improving, and IAMs have improved. I think one should continue to hold with a target of 270 to 75 rupees in the next 1 year.
Okay, fine. A lot of short-term queries, but let me take this one coming in from Hamza, and Hamza is writing to us from Coimbatore, and Hamza wants to know about Tata Power. Makes sense to invest currently for the long term, and her long term is actually at the long term, 5 to 10 years is what she's asking for, Rajesh.
It's a buy from our side. It's a huge portfolio of power. They have a renewable also. They have sold some stake in renewable in the recent past at a very good valuation. And that money is going to again help them in expanding their renewable portfolio. It has corrected quite a lot in the recent past. Medium term target would be around 330, 340 odd rupees, but our longer term horizon, I think much higher targets could be there. It's a buy on dips kind of stocks from our side.
Okay, on that note, we're going to start with the rapid fire. Kunal, first one coming to you. We have this one is from Suresh, and this one is on Shree Cement. 10 shares of Shree Cement at 24,019 rupees. Hold or sell?
I would suggest to hold on as of now.
Okay, one more your way, Kunal. Adani Power 200 shares. Should Lalita exit, accumulate a whole 3-month horizon?
I would suggest to exit.
Okay. Rajesh, this next query is on Jubilant Food from Rajkumar from Kerala. They're holding it at around 700 rupees. Should they average right now?
Averaging is not suggested, but one can continue to hold, let the numbers improve.
Okay, Joseph has Dr. Lal Path at 22.20 for the long term. Should he hold, average or sell? What's your take on this one, Rajesh?
It's a hold, not to average.
Okay. Kunal, Rashmeen from Abu Dhabi is holding for Wipro, 400 of them for a very long time. What should they be doing? They're holding it at 120 rupees. Should they continue to hold the same or switch to another stock?
Yeah, I think at 120 rupees if you bought, then you should definitely look to hold on.
Okay, Narsimha Murthy from Pondicherry wants to know about ABB, whether he can enter this one for the longer term. Also a caveat, he is retired. So what's your take on this one, Rajesh?
Yes, one can buy, and this is a very safe counter for a person retired.
Okay. Kunal, VIP Industries, on that, Akhil has bought 590, 100 shares at 590 rupees per share. For the next 6 to 12 months, what should they be doing?
I think you should look to hold on. Stock is already at 667. You can continue to hold on.
Shobna wants to know, Kunal, good time to accumulate Kotak Mahindra Bank.
Not really. I would suggest that you can switch to maybe HDFC Bank or ICICI Bank. The prospects are a lot more better over there.
Rajesh, for the long term, Rakesh wants to know your view on Godrej Agrovet. They're holding 1,000 shares at 531 rupees. What should they be doing?
Nothing exciting. Sell on rise.
All right, this one is from Amarjeet. He has DVs as well as Dr. Reddy's. He has it for the last 2 years. What should he do? Which one should he keep? Dr. Reddy's or DVs for a period of 1 year, Rajesh?
Dr. Reddy is the better bet.
Kunal, could you give your advice on Paras Defense? The viewer is holding 50 shares at 665. Hold, exit, or what should they be doing?
Well, I would suggest to exit the stock. A better name would be either HAL or BEL, or if you're looking at mid-cap names, then Bharat Dynamics.
All right, and with that, we come to the end of the rapid fire as well as queries. Thank you so much, Kunal, as well as Rajesh, for joining us on the show, for taking our viewers through all of their stock-related queries. And viewers, we will be back tomorrow taking all of your stock-related queries. But let's take a look at one of the other news making headlines today on the national front. And NIA is conducting searches at over 70 locations in 8 states. Delhi, Punjab, Rajasthan, Haryana, Chandigarh, Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh, that is. The searches are over terror funding linked to gangsters. Earlier, NIA had filed 2 cases on terror funding.
Rajya Sabha Chairman writes to a privileged panel, seeks a probe on conduct of 12 opposition MPs for entering the well of the House and allegedly disrupting proceedings. The MPs belong to Congress and Aam Aadmi Party.
Ukrainian President Zelensky hails US President Joe Biden's surprise visit to Kyiv as a historic day. Biden's visit was the first by US President to Ukraine in 15 years. The visit comes just days ahead of Russia-Ukraine war completing a year.
And after a string of disappointing performances, KL Rahul is likely to be replaced by Shubham Gill in the third test at Indore. Rahul has been facing a lot of flack for poor form and has been removed as the vice-captain of the test team.
A day after IMD issued alerts, heat wave conditions prevail in several parts of Gujarat. The state has already been enduring markedly high temperatures over the past few days. The temperatures have remained over 5 to 6 degrees above the normal, going up to as high as 8 degrees centigrade above normal in the state of Gujarat.
And with that, we're absolutely out of time on this edition of Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now. It's a goodbye from myself and the team who put the show to. Cheryl will be continuing with markets at noon with Pankaj.